It's time for today's race at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache circuit here in Sao Paulo. And as any of the 80,000 capacity crowd will tell you, this is going to be a fantastic race. Interlagos. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Bottas, Daniel Ricciardo and Tsunoda, Ocon, Sainz,
That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Fantastic drive, just fantastic. You deserved that race win.
Here we are then, a real team effort to overcome their rivals. It's podium time, and once again it's a clear win for Alpine. Alpine have seen their fair share of success in Formula One, and today is proof that they've still got what it takes to thrill us all. Congratulations to everyone at Alpine. It's a good result for Esteban Ocon, who extends his advantage at the top of the championship. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
Let's give it to Esteban Ocon. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next. As the drivers begin to climb into their cars down on the grid, the excitement is really building at this magnificent circuit. We're just about ready to go racing for today's Formula One Grand Prix. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn one. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
Well, the throttle goes both ways, Crofty. You've got to have the discipline not to try and win the race on the first lap. So always be prepared to lift early and give those around you more space. Trying to be the last of the late breakers with half a dozen cars around you may pay off from time to time, but it's also a great way to lose your front wing.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Sergio Perez will lead us away from pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Hamilton, Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso.
P6, we have P6. Gap to car in front is 1.4 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Stroll is behind you. Less than a second separate you. They're on fresh softs. Okay, gap to leader, 5.0 seconds. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. 2 laps left. Next time by will be your final lap. Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race. That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
A great race. Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. That lead at the top of the table has shrunk somewhat today. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Difficult call, but I'd like to say Esteban Ocon. He's just so gifted at getting the most out of his tyres, and he showed that today.
Let's move on to the constructors. Red Bull. Welcome to the Jeddah Street Circuit. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking.
Okay, DRS is now available. Absolutely fantastic. It's a brilliant result. Well done.
That's a spectacular victory then, and with it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
As today's winners make their way up the podium steps, the folks at Alpine have shown once again what it takes to build a successful Formula One team. A well-deserved win for them. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Let's give it to Esteban Ocon. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
It's time to check out the constructors' standing. The roar of the crowd can only really mean one thing. Race day has arrived here in Abu Dhabi. It's time to join our teams who are getting ready down on the grid. Let's run.
Okay, you need to give that position back. That was an illegal overtake. Fernando is ahead of you. The gap is less than a second. Great maneuver. You made it look easy. DRS is now enabled. This is your final lap of the race. All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
It's been a roller coaster season then, but they can go into the winter with their heads held high after an emphatic victory here today. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win. Our championship leader is still sat at the top of the standings, but their rivals have made up some solid ground today. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I'll probably go for Pierre Gasly. The team did a good job with the strategy to put him in amongst the pack, but it's the driver's job to